Today we are going to start Unit 2, which is about ecology. But before we directly go to today's lesson, let's recap what we have seen in the previous lessons. In the previous lessons, we have seen Unit 1, which was about microorganisms. Microorganisms are organisms that are tiny and small, and we cannot see them in our naked eye, except some are multicellular and very few are multicellular. In fact, most of them are unicellular and cannot be seen with our naked eye. You remember examples of microorganisms, groups of microorganisms are protozoans, fungi, some algae, bacteria, and virus. We have seen this in the previous unit. Today we are going to start Unit 2, which is about ecology. The first lesson of ecology is about cycling matter through ecosystem. Cycling matter through ecosystem. At the end of this subtopic, you will be able to explain the need for cycling materials through ecosystem. You will be able to illustrate the nutrient cycle like carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, sulfur cycle, and other. You will be able to describe diagram of water, carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus cycles. You will be able to state the materials do not always remain within the ecosystem. The state that materials do not always remain within an ecosystem. So, introduction, cycling matter are materials that recycle in the ecosystem. Nutrient cycles are crucial and very important in sustaining ecosystem because they allow the reuse of limited resources. You know, resources are limited and they allow the reuse of these limited resources. Now let's see energy flow and nutrient recycling and compare the difference between energy flow and nutrient cycling. Energy flows, but nutrient or materials cycle. While energy flows in one direction and it's lost as a heat, nutrients are recycled within an ecosystem. So the difference is energy flows in one direction and it's lost as a heat, whereas nutrients such as carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, these nutrients recycle in the ecosystem. And from the picture here, you can understand that solar energy is the source of light, source of energy from the sun, and this energy flows through organism, and there is always heat, and it's lost as in the form of heat. But nutrients in the ecosystem and the organisms are recycled. The materials recycled in the organism to the environment, from the environment to the organism again. So from this picture, you can understand that energy flow in one direction, whereas nutrients recycle, nutrients cycle. Materials are moved around ecosystem when organisms feed during excretion, during respiration and breathing. When they die, organisms die, they are decomposed. And the result of decomposition, respiration, breathing, excretion, and feeding, these recycle materials. So materials are moved around the ecosystem through these processes. Now let's see decomposers. We have seen that one of the source of material recycle is decomposition, and organisms that participate in the decomposition process are known as decomposers. Examples of decomposers are bacteria and fungi. Some fungi They are the key in the returning nutrients to the ecosystem. They are very important in the recycling of nutrients. Important minerals such as nitrogen, phosphorus are returned to plants as a result of decomposers, and decomposers feed by method known as saprobiotic nutrition. They are saprophytic. They feed on dead organisms. They feed on dead matter or dead organisms. So the feeding mode of decomposers is known as they are saprophytic. Now let's see nutrient cycle, and let's take an example, carbon cycle. The main processes that are involved in cycling of carbon through the ecosystem are photosynthesis. You know, photosynthesis is a process by which plants and other photosynthesizing organisms prepare their own food. The process fixes carbon atom from inorganic carbon dioxide into organic compound, for example, glucose. So carbon dioxide is converted into organic form like glucose and other forms. So this is one of the main cycling of carbon. The other is feeding and assimilation. Feeding passes carbon atom in the complex molecule to the next trophic level of food chain, where they are assimilated to become part of the body of the organism. So when organisms take food and eat food, the nutrients that are found in the food will become part of their body. So feeding and assimilation is another process that is part of carbon cycle. The other is respiration. Respiration releases inorganic carbon dioxide from the organic compound. So in this case, from organic compound, carbon dioxide is released. So this is also one part of carbon cycle. The other is fossilization, fossil formation. Sometimes living things do not decay fully. When they die due to conditions in the soil and fossil fuel, for example, coal, oil, peat are formed because of when organisms die, they do not fully decay. So fossil is the remaining part of living organisms. So they are part of carbon cycle, because the body of organisms